It's Jay. I'm back in for another one. And tonight I have with me
Victor.
What's up, Victor? How's it going?
Hey, it's going good. Thank you.
I'm glad to have you. What the trip is, I've known your sister for many of years.
Yeah.
Vivian, she knows her stuff. So we'll sit in there and have debates about all these different kind of movies and stuff and stories and all that kind of stuff. But she's like, you know who's cool? Who knows all this stuff too? My brother. So, and this is, she's been talking about this for years, right? So I'm like, so where is he at then? What's going on?
Right, that's really cool.
Yeah, produce this said brother that you have that knows all this cool stuff that I probably get along well with. I was like, let's meet this dude. And so we were talking last week, and she like, you know what? I'm gonna send you his information so y'all can touch base, and that was right on.
I knew it was cool when I was sending you like all those Facebook clicks with regarding comic books and movies and stuff, and you was responding right off the bat.
I'm always like listening to music, or I'm listening to like, you know, podcasts or YouTube and stuff like that. So
I got you. Yeah, my sister, she's been into this stuff for quite some time, and she's very analytical about things. And
yeah,
you know, she has a very deep understanding of the movie. You know, I go as a fan, right? So I'll sit there and I love going to movies. I go to movies by myself.
I'm like,
I can't see. Yeah, I can't see how anyone can watch a movie on their phone or on their computer. I mean, going to the movies is all about the experience, right?
Yeah,
it's like it's about like being transported. When I go to the movies, a lot of times, if I'm feeling bad or whatever, I go there to think. I think there a lot too, right?
Yeah.
So I just love movies. And when COVID hit, man, that sucked. Oh my God, that was horrible.
Yeah.
I thought COVID was easy at first. You know, all these millennials and Gen Zers were like crying. I can't see my friends and I can't go nowhere. And I'm like, fool, we're latchkey kids. This is heaven.
Right.
But once the writer's strike came on board and, you know, running out of content, I was like, oh man, now I'm feeling the pain.
Yeah, it got rough in those movie streets for a minute there, boy. It was.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I know because of everything was turned upside down with COVID, so I understood that things are changing and stores are closing down. You got to wear a mask, all stuff going down. It's going down really quick, right? And some of that stuff I could take. It was no big deal. Like, it is what it is, you know, do what you got to do, right?
Right.
I didn't really feel like the pain of it is when I couldn't go to the movies. Like, that's my guilty pleasure. That's what I'll do any time of day if I could. You know, like you said, I go there to get transported.
Yep.
I love watching stuff at home too, but it's nothing like that big screen that makes you focus. You don't hear no kids in the background. You don't get up to go to the bathroom. It's not all this other stuff going. It's just your full attention. It's intimidating. The screen is bigger than you and you are at its attention, and I love it. And so not to have that.
It was hard, Jay. It was real hard.
That's what kind of encouraged me to start doing podcasting, because I was going through withdrawals. and I was used to hanging out with my buddies at the movie theater, and I kind of met them almost via the movie theater. One guy I met at Target on a fluke, Keith, and he was in the movie section looking for some Blu-rays, and he was striking up a conversation with some other guys that were there. It's funny. I'm social, but I'm not social. I could get in, get out, and not say nothing to nobody, and I'll be completely fine. But if I know somebody or I'm comfortable, then I'll cut up and I'll just kind of do me. But I saw him talking. I'm like, oh, that guy seemed pretty friendly or whatnot. And I was like, and I was trying to kind of like sneak out of there, find the Blu-ray I was looking for, get my stuff and get out because my family was in the car. And he asked me a question about, I think it was the Justice League or something like that. And then it turned to this big old conversation. And I was like, good talk to you, man. And I was about to walk out, and I was walking down to leave to go pay for what I was getting. And I was like, you know, my head told me, go back and get his number. So I went back and I said, hey, man, what's your number? And what's your name? So we could, you know, if you want to talk movies and stuff like that. And we ended up just going to the movies together, hanging out. And then we would do that for a couple months. And then one of the guys that was a security guard there would see us there talking after the movie. We were sitting on the movie bench, and that's why I call it the movie bench quarterbacking. But we were sitting there on the movie bench and way after the movie, and they're like, you guys gonna watch another movie? It's like, no, we still talking about the last one. So then the security guard would come over, his name's Wayne, and he would see us and he would be talking about the movies too. And we got this conversation about Matrix one time. Okay. We were talking for like 3 or 4 hours. We got kicked out of the theater. We stayed there later than we needed to because he was a security guard. So we stayed there late. And then we ended up going into the parking lot after they shut the theater down, just talking in the parking lot about movies and stuff.
That's way cool.
Yeah,
that's cool when you find a tribe like that. You know,
it's like hard, man. It's hard. It is. Man. It's hard. It's hard. You just don't know, man. People are different. Life is different. You know.
I have a very close knit group of friends. We're all spread out, right?
Yeah.
But every one of us has our things that we're into.
Yeah.
And then I think I told you this. One of my best friends, his name was Clay Portis. One of my first friends I met when I moved to Benicia, into comic books, into movies, music. I mean, whatever media. This man was
Right.
in. He knew his stuff, and so he passed away 2 years ago, and that was the guy that I would talk movies about.
Yeah.
Movies, magazine, politics, whatever
Yeah.
the subject he wanted to talk about, we just chop it up. So
Yeah.
glad we hooked up, man. I'm glad I met you through my sister, and I got a like-minded person. We can
Yeah.
talk about these things. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think we need to be able to express ourselves, especially as grown men too. Because, anywhere else, nobody trying to hear us. The job might not be trying to hear us. Your family might not be trying to hear you, but your boys, you have a common respect,
Yep.
and say stuff is not used against you, or just that kind of stuff that guys do. But we need that too, Just like when we're kids, we needed it. We need it as adults, but it's just harder to find it once you're grown because we get responsibilities and the grown-up guy package that comes with everything, where you got to be serious and you can't enjoy stuff anymore and whatever. So
yeah, for sure.
have you noticed in recent years that they don't really make movies that you want to rewatch again?
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot.
It's a trip. I used to buy everything. I can't wait for it to come out on Blu-ray. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna keep watching over and over again. And they don't have to be good, but just movies that grab you a certain kind of way. So
it's got to grab you a certain kind of way, right? It's been a while. Now it warms my heart that you still buy physical media. I love that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if you want to make sure you have it in your collection, you better buy it and have a hard copy, because so many things that I like, I can't take for granted that the studios are going to like it too, or somebody gets canceled or something. They pull their stuff off the shelf. It's so funny how stuff is. Now, they act like it's convenient because, push a button is right there. Go find some underground hip hop or something you like and try to find it on Amazon Music. Try to find a classic movie from back in the day and see if Netflix has it.
You can't.
You can't. So only way to guarantee it is to have it in hand to keep it. Otherwise, because movies I like to go back to, I like going back to The Crow. I like going back to The Matrix. I like going back to Back to the Future, Lost Boys, The Last Dragon.
Own your stuff. Don't buy into licensing rights. You don't own the license. You're just paying for the privilege to access their library. Forget about that, man. Just own it. Own your media. That's my philosophy, man.
I think it's a safe way to go too, especially when you start finding out that stuff was on there forever. Because I got that rude awakening watching something on Netflix I watched a few times. And I went back to go watch it again. It was gone. I'm like, Netflix takes stuff off? That's when I started realizing they start rotating their catalog. At first, I thought if it's on Netflix, it's there forever, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It don't work like that. So
they're running out of servers.
Right. Exactly. What movies feel like the top of your list of favorite go-to movies?
Oh, so movies that I'll always watch regardless. Okay. Yeah. So on TV. So Forrest Gump is one.
Oh, wow. That's a classic.
Yeah, I love Forrest Gump. That's a great movie.
It is.
Inception. I like watching that a lot. That's a great movie.
It is.
Anything that Leonardo DiCaprio does, I would watch.
Yes. Same here.
But I just like the mind warping, bending thing of Inception.
Yeah.
And then Full Metal Jacket is another one. I quote a lot from that movie. I love being Sergeant Hartman.
Okay.
me and my buddies, we have that whole routine down with the Foot Locker scene and the jelly donut. We got that down.
Holy Jesus! What is that? What the fuck is that? What is that, Private Pile?
Sir, jelly donut, sir!
A jelly donut?
Sir, yes, sir!
How did it get here?
Sir, I took it from the mess hall, sir!
Is chow allowed in the barracks, Private Pile?
Sir, no, sir!
Are you allowed to eat jelly donuts, Private Pile?
Sir, no, sir!
And why not, Private Pile?
Sir, because I'm too heavy, sir!
Because you are a disgusting fat body, Private Pile!
Sir, yes, sir!
Then why did you hide a jelly donut in your footlocker, Private Pile?
Sir, because I was hungry, sir!
Because you were hungry.
That's funny.
And Fridays. Fridays is another one. I watch that all the time. I love that movie. That's another great movie I like to watch, right? So, I like coming to age movies, with the kids. I like revenge movies,
You sound like me. Okay.
Yeah, I don't do horror that much, really, be honest with you, right?
Okay.
So those last horror movies like Talk With Me, Grabbing That Hand and all that.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it.
No, I'm good. I'm cool. Demon movies I'm not too keen on,
Yeah.
Although I will say that I rented a couple nights ago because the concept was very interesting.
Okay.
Was Late Night with the Devil. Did you
I
see
saw
that?
that just because the premise seemed kind of trippy, like it's a
It was
throwback to
trippy, right?
Johnny Carson kind of type thing.
Yeah, taking place in the 70s. I just thought that was a great concept. It was good.
It was really good. I was surprised. I didn't know where it's going to go. That actor, he's so trippy looking. He's in like Dark Knight and stuff.
Yeah,
he's a weird looking dude, but he played like a normal guy, and he seemed very personable and funny
very
and
personal.
witty. Yeah.
Well, the actor that played the talk show host was in the Dark Knight. Was he the cop that got pulled in?
Actually, he was one of Joker's men. He came from the asylum. He was dressed up like a cop during the scene where the Joker had his makeup off and he had kind of fired on the crowd.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay, because he looked very familiar when I was watching Late Night with the Devil. So I was just trying to picture where I had seen his face before. Yeah,
he's a popular character actor, and he's in a lot of stuff. But like I said, we just kind of take him for granted, and he had this leading role in this unlikely kind of trippy movie. And you know what, too? I thought it was very interesting that it was a lot of truth in that movie, even though it was supposed to be like this kind of made up kind of fanciful kind of trippy movie, but a lot of stuff that was kind of talked about, they didn't use actual names of things that it related to, but it was just like, huh.
Okay, so what message was you pulling from it?
It seemed like they had some kind of Scientology kind of stuff in there. They had some stuff with like cults and things like that, and the stuff that we hear about the quote unquote Illuminati, with the people sacrificing folks for fame and success and all this other kind of stuff. So it kind of leaned into all that kind of stuff, but I never really heard it or saw it done in that way.
I kind of saw it how people and the media can take something and then corrupt it. That's how I took it.
Wow.
That's good. And now if you get in that, for example, in his struggle to become like the #1 late night talk show host, right?
Right.
He knew he shouldn't have kept on going. He knew he shouldn't have kept on pushing, but he did.
Right.
He wound up selling his soul, so to speak, right?
Right.
So I just thought that was pretty deep. But yeah, like we had said earlier, that what drew us to that kind of movie was the concept, like that grittiness of a talk show, right?
Right.
And then the devil be up on there. I thought that was really cool.
Right. Because, they were kind of playing it for laughs and stuff and just to seem creepy and just doing it for Halloween. So the whole time you're kind of wondering, like, okay, is this like a thing? You know how, like, on Johnny Carson, they would have these guys who would be able to read your mind, or these magicians and stuff. So he's like, is this stuff just kitschy or if it's for real? So when it kind of turned bad, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Whoops. Went a little too far. Like, whoops. So, yeah, like I said, it was unexpected. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Yeah, that's when I think I saw it twice. I saw it once in the theater, and I saw it once when it came out. But
I think I own the rights to it. It's on I can call it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Own the rights to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I like this kind of movies that you're saying too. I like movies where the person who walks around with all the answers but don't realize that they have the answers. And two movies that are prime examples for that is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
Oh yeah, you got the glow.
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
Sure enough.
Yeah,
show enough.
Yeah, show enough. And so, like that kind of movie, and like The Matrix with Neo. I like it when the guy is walking around, everybody sees the potential in that person, but they don't see it in themselves. And how your reality is what you accept it to be. So you could be this great person that means so much to everybody. But if you don't see yourself as being that, regardless of what people are telling you the whole time, you're the one, or you're the master, and this is that, until you work that out for yourself, it almost doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of you.
Now, this is true.
And so they walk around the whole time trying to block off their blessings and downplay who they are and all that, and won't accept the responsibility. I don't want the responsibility. I'm not that person. I'm not the, all that kind of stuff, until the right thing opens that door for them where they cannot deny it. Be it a loved one in danger, be it the situation gets so dire where they can't back up no further, right? It's like I'm against the wall now. All I can do is go forward and accept who I am, or accept who people see me to be, and find out for themselves. And then, they end up being the one at the end. And so I love movies like that, because I think most people walk around not knowing who they are, or avoiding who they are and their potential, which is great. But we could walk around and be that background player all we want. But if you take the challenge or accept the responsibility that comes with it, we could be great.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt.
We walk around with everything we need, but it doesn't matter unless you're willing to accept it. And so I like stuff like that, because I think it's encouraging. I think that, like I said, a lot of people walking around not knowing that they're the one, or walking around not knowing they're the master. So
yeah, there's different type of people that go to the movies, right? Then you got guys like us, goes for the experience, and then you got guys that go to the movies that they really critique it. They critique the lighting, the angle of the shot. They know everything. I got a friend that does that. He's just he's just way into it, man. You know?
Right. I'm kind of a fine line between the two, and sometimes I gotta catch myself, because I can see myself going in nitpicking and like, am I giving this movie a chance? And sometimes stuff is just dumb and don't make sense. Did you enjoy the ride or not? You know what I mean? Sometimes it don't matter what color the car is. Did it get you where you needed to go? And so if you're being nitpicky, you could mess up a good ride, just from just worrying about all the stuff that doesn't really matter. So
you know what movie did that to me?
What's that?
It was The Man with the Iron Fist. Set with one of the guys from Wu-Tang Clan. I got up after 10 minutes and left. I couldn't take it.
Yeah, that's with the RZA. I think the RZA directed it.
Is it the RZA?
Yeah.
It was horrible. No disrespect.
No, it was. And I was looking forward to it, because he was like working with Quentin Tarantino or something, I think. And he loves that kind of stuff, right? And Wu-Tang, they named after that kind of, so they're about that. So to see that movie and for it to be what it was, because I thought it was just going to be like this black Afro take on this whole world and genre and stuff, right? Because we grew up watching Bruce Lee and all that kind of stuff. Right. So we love the stuff. And so I was really hoping that it would just be this nice mesh of idea, story, lore, and all this other kind of stuff. And it was just...
I rarely get up and leave a movie. I rarely. Once I buy a ticket, I tend to stay. But on that one, I had to go. It's just the whole premise in itself. I mean, it sounded interesting, right? But you're an escaped slave. You board up a ship. And the ship is supposed to transport you somewhere along our eastern coast. But then there's some sort of hurricane, and then it sweeps you all the way to the other side of the world. Now, if you think about the globe and how it's set up, where the East Coast is at and where Japan is at, there's that just didn't make no sense. That made no sense to me. And I had to go. I have to go after that. I was like, nah, I'm good.
It went a little too far. Across the wrong line.
Like you said, I just started nitpicking it. I couldn't get past his New York accent. Yeah. I just couldn't. Yeah. I was like, man, I'm good. I'm gonna leave this ride.
That's funny. I understand. I haven't hit a movie that bad, but like, you not to see it in the theater, so I saw it at home, and I still didn't complete watching it, because like, I'll come back to it. And I was like, I just couldn't do it, because it was Lucy Liu was in it, and Russell Crowe, and all these different people. And the style
I never got that far.
And the style was pretty slick and stuff, like from the trailer and stuff. So I was assuming there's going to be this big old epic kind of thing. Right. And it just didn't have that. It didn't have that. Like I said, it looked like a Tarantino film, but he didn't have the skill to pull that off.
Yeah.
It just didn't work. It just didn't work. And so I was disappointed in that one too. So that's interesting that you said that movie, but that's a good example.
We had spoke earlier, right? Reboots and stuff. And the fans are tired of reboots. Yeah. Let's pick up the story from where you left off and continue on. Right. Tired of reboots, man.
Right. And plan the stuff out too. And if it's a one-off kind of thing, let it be a one-off. Let it die.
Let it be a one-off, right?
Let it do what it is. We come back to it, and people are where we left them. But this whole thing of milking it and then don't even have nothing to say, that's the crazy thing. You're going to pick up something and not have nothing extra to say.
Right.
And then you're going to just do whatever you want, and you then give it to us as fans and give us that crap, and you didn't even give it a second thought. When you got people who love this kind of stuff, have ideas in their head and want to do something with it, never get the shot, but somebody who just think it's a good IP for money and just making up some crazy stuff they're slapping on top of it. Like, this is ridiculous. But we just kind of roll the dice and kind of hope for things to work out. But I just know that there's talented people out there who have something to say. And it's a shame that you got to be lucky to come across an actual good movie. And a lot of times that's by accident because it's not advertised well or something like that. So when you actually do find a movie that connects to you, that happens out there, you might find it on Netflix, you know, like a little throwaway movie that you don't think nothing about. And then you see it and you be like, wow, this is amazing. Who would have knew? And then the ones that are advertised with the big budgets, you see the trailer every 5 minutes, you go see them and it's like garbage. It's a trip. We're in strange times.
I'll tell you what movie hit me that way where I knew nothing about.
What's that?
It's a movie with Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, Matthew Broderick, and they played in Civil War movie.
Not Glory.
Glory.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that movie, bro.
Yeah.
I did not. Man, me and my girlfriend at the time, it was a Saturday night. You know, we didn't know what to do. I said, well, let's go to the movies. So we wound up going to Pinole when they had the movie theater over there back in the day.
I remember.
And went to go see, you know, well, what do you want to go see? We didn't know. I didn't subscribe to no newspaper. I said, well, let's go check out this movie, Glory. And then, you know, back in the day, I don't know if they still have it. They have the synopsis. You read the synopsis. I said, okay, it sounds pretty cool. All right, let's go in. And going and watching that movie just blew me away. I love that movie, man. That's another movie, one of my favorites as well.
That's a powerful one, man. You like those
Very
deep,
powerful.
You like those deep movies, which I do too. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's not like you're a fan of Denzel Washington too.
Oh yeah. Out of Time, dude. Training Day.
Yes. Wait. Did you see that movie? Is it called Deja Vu? Did you see that one?
Deja Vu. Was that with Denzel?
Yeah, kind of like a time travel loop thing.
Right. There's another one that was kind of like that with Jay Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
So didn't those two movies come out around the same time?
I think the Denzel one came out before, but it could have been around the same time though.
Right.
Yeah, but this one took place in New Orleans, if I remember correctly.
New Orleans, man. I'm gonna have to watch that one again. Sometimes I get those two confused, right?
Yeah.
The Deja Vu one and the Jake Gyllenhaal one.
Yeah, that was a good one too. That was one too that I didn't really know what to expect, and I was surprised how good it was. And I like twists too. I like stuff like that. I've seen a lot of stuff, man. So it's hard to kind of fool me, or because sometimes I see the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen now. But sometimes you just don't know, and when that happens, I'm impressed. I'm like, if you got me, you did something good.
Yeah, like Usual Suspects was a great plot
Yeah.
to it, right?
That was crazy.
Well, that was nuts.
The Sixth Sense.
What's that? The Sixth Sense. Oh, I did not even know.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another one that blew me away. What's that movie with Kevin Spacey? He was in a loveless marriage. He decides to work out. Is it American something?
They had the rose petals and all that kind of stuff.
The rose petal in the water. That was another movie that was pretty cool, right? That kind of blew me away. What happened?
American Beauty.
American Beauty. Thank you. Yeah. See, sounds like you and me are kind of everywhere on the movie spectrum.
Yeah, I think so too. One of my favorites is kind of like that. That's kind of trippy. Is The Devil's Advocate.
Oh my God! Oh,
with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves.
Oh man, I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Yeah.
We won't talk about it on the podcast, but when I see you, I'll tell you about that movie.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah. It's some trippy stuff, bro.
Okay. I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
It seems like we got a lot of movies that we like. We have a lot of movies in common. I'll say this for our next conversation, pick out a movie that you want to go back on and we'll do a movie review. Even if it's older, new, or whatever. If it's some like movie you really dig, let's discuss it.
Okay, cool.
Just for the fun of it,
Yeah, we'll watch it and then we'll discuss it.
That sounds cool. Cool.
All right, right on.
All right, well, we're pretty thorough with this one.
We're kind of all over the place, but it was
hey, I
it was
don't
fun,
mind.
Man.
Like I said, when it comes to people's taste in music and movies, is a good take on like who the person is and what you have in common and taste and kind of vibes and stuff like that. So I always use that as a tester of like, oh, what songs you like or what kind of movies you dig.
Yeah,
it says so much. It says so much about a person.
Yeah, I'm everywhere, man.
Same.
I like independence. I like blockbusters. I love movies. Basically, I'm a movie fan. I love movies.
So real quick, who got you into movies? I know for me, my mom, she was a movie person. She would take us to Cine 3 in Vallejo on Tennessee Street.
Ooh,
we would see movies there all the time. And back then, you could see a movie, even if it's a double feature, you could sit there all day and they don't kick you out. You could sit there and keep watching the movie over and over again.
And over. It's me. I think I got me into movies really.
Wow.
Mom and dad, they worked a lot, and
Hmm.
movies were expensive.
Yeah.
They did take us to go see Star Wars when we were kids.
Okay.
Star Wars, Superman,
Hmm.
the Star Trek franchises at the very beginning.
Those were a
You
big
know,
deal back then.
yeah, those. Space Mountain. Was it Space Mountain? A young Kurt Russell.
You know what? I think so. 'Cause it's a Disney movie.
It's a Disney movie, right?
Yeah, I think it's Space
Herbie,
Mountain.
the original Herbie Lovebug movies,
Yep.
all that stuff,
I
right?
remember them. Okay.
Yeah. So then when I got into my when I got into my 20s and living on my own, that's my thing. I go to movies on Sundays
Hmm.
usually. It's a nice way to end the week before you start the work week. That's my philosophy.
You sound like me. I used to make Sundays. That was my, people go to church. I went to movies on Sunday. That was my
I go.
thing too.
That's me, right? I go to
Me
movies.
too. Yeah,
Right, I go
that's
to
funny.
movies, and then before they have the assigned seating, I just I'd movie hop. I'd
Yeah,
movie hop, and I would not feel bad movie hopping because I
yeah.
would buy food from the concession stand.
Exactly, exactly. You don't pay to get in. You did that whole thing
Yeah,
of making people get up the next movie. That's crazy. Because, like
that's
I said,
crazy.
you making all that money off of popcorn and drinks and people hanging out there. So why? What does it matter? And the truth is, some people go there because it's a cheap date. At least it used to be a cheap date. I go
It
there because
used
I
to be a cheap
really
date.
love movies. And that's why
I
I would go
love
early in
movies.
the day because
Yep.
nobody is there talking and cutting up and stuff. And even though that bothers me when people don't appreciate the movie, they're on their phones, they're talking or whatever.
Yeah,
I also love when I'm in a theater, and like I saw that with you, and I'm the same way, where you see something funny, you just laugh. Sometimes you need the person in the room to let everybody know it's okay to laugh or to make a point, or they may not have heard or got something, and you hear somebody start cracking up, you be thinking like, oh, that was funny, or they did say this or that. So sometimes you like that interaction. That's what I love about the theater as well. When it's people who really enjoys it and feel it, versus people who don't care.
shoot. One time, he passed away. He played the Kingpin in the Daredevil movie. Michael Clark Duncan or something like that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Michael Clark Duncan. Okay.
yeah. So in that one, I sounded like Jay-Z, but when he got hit in his knees, I
Yeah.
went, my kneesies, and then everyone in my section was rolling when I said that.
And see, that'd be classic stuff. And people watch that movie, and every time they see that scene, they'll be thinking that and be cracking up. So I like audience participation when they're in on it together. Like if somebody distracted, not paying attention, that's one thing that's disturbing. Get out of here, shut that stuff down. I want to hear it. But like I said, when you add into the vibe of it, like, I used to have this friend when we were in high school. But my friend, his little brother, we would see some kind of scary movie, and he'll just scream at a weird point where it wasn't even nothing even happening. But it would kind of snap people out of being so scared, and it would be so funny. But it'd be like, dude, what are you screaming for? Everybody would get mad at him, but it was funny. Like,
I remember one time, Jay, me, my friend Kenny, Clay, who passed away, another good friend of mine, Jay. We were going to DVC at the time, right? And so we decided, forget this, let's cut class, let's go to the movies.
okay.
So we used to go to that movie. It was in the Target parking lot. They tore it down now. That was the actual dome theater in Pleasant Hill.
Oh, okay. It had the arcade next to it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I know.
Dick's
I used to
Sporting
go there.
Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods is
Yeah.
there now, but
Yeah, I used to go there.
this one, it's in that Target parking lot in Concord, and I think Chipotle and Starbucks is occupying the space that the movie theater used to be there on that one side. So, anyways, we went to go see Dawn of the Dead. That was the one where everyone got trapped inside the mall.
Oh, that was Zack Snyder's first movie.
Was that Zach? Really?
Yeah, written by James Gunn.
Back in the day, back in the 80s?
Yeah, that was Zack Snyder's first movie and one of James Gunn's first movies.
See, I didn't know that.
Yep.
But there was that one scene where the dude was getting his intestines eaten out.
Yeah.
And then Clay was sitting behind me, and that fool startled me. I had in my left hand, I had a bunch of Skittles.
Yeah.
Skittles all went up in the air. You could hear it. It sounded like hail falling, hitting the floor.
That's
Clunk,
funny.
clunk, clunk, clunk. It was hella funny. I let out a big scream back in the day. That's funny now. You think about it. I was like
Yeah.
what? I was like 18, 19, I think. It was crazy.
Like I said, moments like that, man. I love the theater. Like I said, and especially with people that you enjoy hanging out with and stuff. Like I said, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I truly enjoy it. Truly enjoy it.
You ever been in the movie theater from 11 in a matinee and then coming out and it's dark?
Yeah, now don't even know where I'm at. Feel like I'm in a different.
I've
You know
done
what?
that.
I've done that too, and I also get that feeling when I watch like a trippy movie, like The Sale. If I watch some kind of weird, mind-boggling kind of movie, and it's that weird time, like you said, you go in the daytime, you come out at night or something, or you just watch a whole bunch of movies and stuff, it trips you out. You're just like, where am I? Did I unplug or? But yeah, it's a trippy feeling.
I love it. I love it. Can't do it anymore. I don't have the time anymore. But
yeah,
that was what I used to do.
Me too.
Yeah, man.
So, do you have anything you would like to leave us with?
Right on for having me on. It's it was a cool experience. Looking forward to doing it again, talking movies with you again one day.
Right on.
I enjoyed myself, man. Right on. You made it fun. You made it interesting, man. It was cool.
Oh, right on, man. It was good having you, man. Always like conversating with like-minded folks. And like I said, you got the okay from Vivian. So if you're good with Vivian, you're good with me.
I better be. I'm her brother, right?
I know. Yeah, but you were as she said you were. So she was on point.
Yeah, well, right on.
She's on point. Well, it's good to have you, man. It was good to have you.
Thank you, my friend.